Hi, all. Good morning.
Good morning.
I think today I became late. I think so. It's 2 minutes. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes and we'll start the class. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let me share my screen in the meanwhile. Yeah. So today we are going to discuss about IAM, right? So how many have joined? So may I know who joined recently for the class today? I mean, the 18 MA. Who is this? I think Krishna Pratap and you have joined yesterday, right? Krishna?
Yeah.
Oh,
From
okay.
beginning of the sessions, I am listening your sessions.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. And who is this 18 MA? Okay. No worries. So we'll start the class now. So today we'll discuss about IAM. What is IAM? What is IAM? So IAM is Identity Access Management. Okay. Identity and Access Management. So what is this Identity and Access Management? So Identity and Access Management is one of the service in AWS. Okay. So why it is important? It's very crucial service in AWS. Okay. It's very crucial service in AWS. Why means? So it consists of, there are two parts in IAM. The one is authorization and one is authentication. So what is this authorization and what is this authentication? For example, you stay in a gated community, or uh, you're going to an office. Okay, so there is you're going to an office. So while you are entering into the office, there is a security, right? So either you have to swipe, or either you have to show your ID card, or either you have to do iris scan. There is some security. They will stop you and they will check it, right? So if you have ID card, right? So if you have ID card, or if you show your if you swipe in, right? So then you enter into the office. Then you enter into the premises. that is what authentication is, right? So that is what authentication. So the first step is authentication is done. And the second step is you want to go to an ODC, right? So you want to go to particular department, right? So for example, you enter into the office, and then you enter in. So this is the, so you enter into the office. Okay. So once you enter into the office, then what happens? The first step is you will get scanned, right? So once you get scanned, uh, one second. So once you enter into the office, okay. So once you enter into the office, here authentication happens, right? Authentication happens, and your department is somewhere here or somewhere here and somewhere here. So in order to go here, you cannot enter to your ODC. You know ODC, what I mean, in service base we have an ODC called like, for your project you will be having a separate ODC, right? So you need to enter in particular to that ODC only. You cannot enter, you will not have you will not have access wherever you want. You cannot go, you need to go to your particular place only, right? So that is what the authorization is. So there are two layers of security here, right? One is authorization, and another one is authentication, right? So one is authorization, one is authentication. So authorization is something which is the first step. Okay. After you enter, and the next one is authentication. So once you enter, where you need to go, right? To particular department you need to go, or you particular in AWS you need to log into the particular service, right? So that's where the authentication, sorry, that's where the authorization comes, and uh, that's where the authorization comes. You got it? Let me clear. Let me clear it. First is authentication. Second one is authorization. So first step verification. Second second step verification. Okay. So first is authentication, like when you enter into the office, like swipe in or you show your ID card, right? So for example, how many of you people have gone to some gated communities, or so how many of you are staying in gated communities? So if you go to the gated communities, right? So first step verification is they will give you the ID. They will ask you to show, or they will ask you the phone number. And once you enter into the premises, then you should go to the particular tower, right? So that is what the second step is authorization, right? So in the same way, in the AWS, once you log in with the AWS credentials, So that is what the authentication is. It says that, okay, this fellow has the kind of access to enter the premises. Next one, which service? There are multiple services, right? So for example, if I have access to all the services, okay, if I don't have authorization, so you forgot about authorization. So there is no concept called authorization, okay? So there is only concept called authentication. So what happens if there is only concept called authentication? So once I once I log into the AWS server, AWS console, so authentication happened. So once I log in, I will be able to access all the things, like all the services like EC2, IAM, S3, database, everything. So I am an admin. Okay, so I don't have. I don't have any work to do with for EC2, IAM, S3, database. Okay, so I am just an admin. Okay, so I don't have any work with database. I don't need to do anything with the database, but I can access the database. I went and I deleted something. So what happens? So it's which is not required, which is which is the access is not at all required for me. Okay, when the access is not required, I don't know what to do. Any of the service, for example, uh, S3 I have. I went into the S3 and I S3 buckets and I have deleted something, right? So how much loss to the company, right? So that's the reason. So authorization is so important that it will drill down to the particular services. You got it? So what do you mean by authentication? Authentication is to get into the company, and authorization is so to get into the services, to particular services. See, in any company, it's very important to provide how the access to particular users, how minute, how uh, like you give the access, limited access, what is required. So there are two principles. You need to give to a particular user an access which is limited and which is useful, right? So there are two things. One is limited access and one use, which is limited and it should be sufficient. So both are very important in an organization. So it should be, he should not have extra access, extra in the sense he should not have access outside of his boundary, outside of his work, and he should not and also it should not be like I don't have this access, I cannot work. It should not be like that. Okay. So that is why this IAM is, IAM was so important, and in order to, for example, and also I'll tell you one more thing. So there are, for example, there are dev, there are admin people, and there are storage, and there are networking. There are in real-time environment, there will be multiple teams like application team, support like DevOps team, and there are networking, storage, right? So storage people will work on this. Storage networking people will work on VPC and all, right? And storage people will work on might be on databases, right? And DevOps people should have read and write access, right? And so application people should have access to the EC2 or ECS containers, right? So how do you segregate the access to all these peoples? Like for example, DAO should have this, uh, application should have this, and networking people should have only those permissions. And how can you determine those things? By using IAM. Okay, so only by using IAM you can determine which access should get to which people, right? Any doubts here?
No.
No? Okay. So we have there are 4 components of IAM. Okay, one is users, next is group, next is policies, and another one is roles. Okay, so what are users? So users are nothing but like uh, you the organization creates a users, right? So you want to log into an AWS account. So that is what the user is, right? So it's a kind of person or an application that interacts, like, I mean, it gets the ID, it gets the credentials, name and credentials. And see, you log into the KSR technologies. How do you log in? With a username and a password. So that is what, from the backend, someone has to create the user, right? So then only you are able to log in it. So that is what the user is. And what is a group? Group is something, this batch, there are 10 people. So all these 10 people, all these 10 people, I'm adding to this DevOps batch. So I'm creating a group called DevOps group. Okay. I created a group called DevOps, and I have added you all 10 people to here. I have added all 10 people to DevOps group. That is what uh, groups are. It's a kind of collection of IAM users. Okay. All IAM users consists of one. We can, we can assign permissions to that group instead of assigning permissions to that particular. See, yesterday or day before yesterday, someone asked me to share the content, right? So if you are all in one group, if I share the content, right? So it will be passed to all the people. If you are not in a group, if you are an individual users, so what should I do? I should share it to each and every person, right? In the same way, like permissions also. So if for in application team there are 20 people. Okay, the 20 people want to access this database, right? What I'll do? I'll create a group, and I will add these 20 people to that group, and I'll give to that group, like I'll create a group called Dev, and I'll give access to that Dev to the database. And what happens by that? Like all these 20 people will get the access. So that is what the benefit of having a group, having all users into, adding all users to a particular group, right? And now coming to policy. So what are policies? So policies are something uh, kind of you, I mean, you tell what to do, what not to do. You got it. So you assign this group to database. Okay. In database, there are so many, there are so many operations like read operation, write operations. Okay. So you want only read operation. Okay. That is where the policy comes in. So you can write a policy stating that, okay, in the database, I need only the read operation. So it's something like you want to uh, you want to do some set of operations on particular resources. So see, policies and roles both comes after the authentication, not before the authentication. Okay. What is authentication? Once you log into the AWS console, then that is what the authentication is. So after authentication, these policies and roles starts working on, right? So these policies and roles mainly work on resources or services, we call it as. Okay. So mainly policies and roles work on services. Okay. So as I told, so if you want to apply, I mean, if you want to do some, if you want to do some work on resources or services, then these policies and roles works. Policy means what? Policies means what? If you want, I mean, if you want to particular user to access or deny to the particular resource, the particular service, that is what the policy is. Any doubt here? Hope you got the what is a policy means. It's an actual, it's a kind of JSON document. Okay, it's a kind of JSON document, and in the JSON document, you will write down what to. I mean, you will write down what should allow, what should deny. Okay, and now coming to the roles. Roles are nothing but it's a kind of temporary permissions. Temporary permissions, right? It is not human accounts. Okay, policies you can account, you can attach to human. Roles are not, these are, you cannot attach to human accounts, right? uh, I mean, human accounts in the sense, if you want to do a particular task, I mean, there is an account, there is an service account, or service account means people, I mean, multiple people can use that one account. For example, you want to automate, you are doing an automation. Okay. So what is a service account? So what is a service account? If you are doing an automation. Okay. So, and you are doing an automation with your account. For example, you take, for example, you say, you're doing an automation with your account, personal account. Okay. Personal account, say X, and you left the company. What happens when you left the company? That automation works. Does that automation work when you left the company?
No.
Right. What happens? They will remove the account. They will remove your account. Right. And that automation will be gone. So in order to achieve that, in real time in office, what they will do is they will create a service account, and in the service account only they will ask you to do automation, or they will, I mean, all people will use this service account, right? It will not expire, right? There are some privileges to the service account, like it will not expire, right? And it will not, it will have some least permissions, or it will have the permissions to all the permissions. It will be having extra permissions compared to the normal user, right? So that's what the service account is. And so hope you got what are the policies and what are the roles, right? So in order to, roles are nothing but it's a kind of temporary access to perform some tasks, or if you want to provide temporary credentials, or instead of the long term ones, if you want to provide temporary permissions, then that is what roles are. So roles and policies. All right. And so let me create an user. So you want some more examples, or you're okay with this? So if you're okay with this, let me open it. See, what is a root? Yesterday, I think I told you the what is a root user and what is an IAM user, right? So root user is something. See, if I am a root user means what? So root user is something I can access anything, right? So first step, what happened? Authentication happened. Okay, I logged in. If there is no authorization, if there is no, if there is no such kind of authorization, I'll go here, Amazon RDS, and I'll delete whatever I want, right? So do you think in your, in any of the organization, or for example, if you you entered a company, right? You entered, you when you joined a new company, you entered a new company, and do you think you can go anywhere you want? You want to go to CEO room, you can go. Is it like that? No, right? So you cannot. You can just enter the office. After the office, first step, what you go to the reception, you collect your ID card, or you go to the reception, and you can they will tell you that, okay, uh, your team is sitting in the 8th floor, or your team is sitting in the 6th floor. Kindly reach out to your manager, or kindly go to the 6th floor, like that they will say, right? So without permissions you cannot go anywhere. In the same way, like in the same way, it is in the AWS also. So it's like, once you get the authentication, you cannot go anywhere, if unless you are kind of unless you are a root user, you cannot go anywhere. Got it? Root user is like a CEO or something. He is like a kingmaker. So root user is something he can, in the real time, you will not have the permissions for the root user. Okay. See, Amazon, I came to RDS, and if I want to delete, I'll delete it. So if I don't have that kind of authorization, right? So this is what IAM is. IAM we are discussing, right? In identity access management, right? So this is what IAM. This is what the service looks like. Okay. So here you are saying, right? So how many of you know this multi-factor authentication? So what is a multi-factor authentication? Anyone? Anyone knows that what is multi-factor authentication?
It's a security for the login to the root user.
Exactly. So multi-factor authentication is something, uh, see, it's not only just you entering the password. It's just a kind, in your Google, or when you log into the Gmail, right? So you will get multi-factor authentication. You will get a code. So it's like an extra layer of the security. So that's what that's what the MFA was, right? So in your office, Sorry. So in your office, you will be having an SSO, single sign-on authentication. Okay, in your, I mean, in your office, in the sense, most of the offices or most of the companies will use SSO, single sign-on authentication, right? And now we'll just
Right.
create a user. So we'll just create a user. So here you can see these are, as I told, these are groups, users, and roles, policies, and identity providers or something. One second. So identity providers are something, I mean, as I told, it consists of, I mean, multiple users, right? I mean, it's a kind of domain single sign-on authentication. I told you, right? So single sign-on authentication means what? So it's a kind of all the people you should add. However, you should add the people right there. So that is what the identity providers were, right? So if you want more details, you can see here what is identity providers, right? So your organization already has its own identity system, right? The corporate uses. See, it's simple like an, it is like an SSO, or it is like an single sign-on authentication. So that's what the identity providers are, right? And root access management, right? So these access reports are something. Okay, I do not have access to this, but so this is, access reports are something you want to analyze. These are new. I mean, previously we do not have this access management for the IAM, but now we got this access management for the resource analysis for this one also, right? So you want to see the budget, you want to see the how many users you can create. So all these things you can find it out here, right? Access reports. So now we'll just create a user. Just click on create user and give the username demo test. Okay. So what does this mean? Provide user access to AWS management console. So what is this? So a, in the office, I mean, see, uh, it is something, in every organization you will be having an access to CLI. Okay. So it's, I mean, it's something like if you want to provide access to the console. So that is what console, in the sense, this is what the console is. Like if you see, this is what the console is, right? So if you want access, you can give it. Otherwise, yeah. So you want to access, I mean, I just provided this, and always recommended have auto-generated password. What is an auto-generated password and what is a custom password? So auto-generated password is something you create a user, right? So while creating it, it will choose some random password. Okay. So when he logins the next time, okay, the user must create a new password, which is an, I mean, which is recommended in the sense, for example, I have 100 people. Okay. I cannot create custom password for all the 100 people, right? So what I'll do, I'll create an auto-generated password. Okay. And when they log in, they will create their own password. So that is what here it shows, right? So they will create their own password. So that one we'll see. Hope you understood, right? I will not add any of the permissions. You will get to know, I mean, then you will get to know what authentication means. If he doesn't have authorization, what happens, right? Click on next. Okay, auto-generated password. So permissions, nothing. He has nothing password. I mean, okay. Click on yes. Click on create user. Okay, console password. So let me log in. So I just downloaded the file. So I created it. I created it user. Okay. And one more thing I just want to tell you. See, IAMs are global. These are not any specific region, or these are not any this service is not any specific to region or availability zone, nothing. So these are global. What do you mean by global? Global is something, I mean, it is irrespective of the particular data center or particular availability zone or particular geographical region, nothing like that. It's a kind of it's a kind of global. You doesn't know where it is getting created, or so it's nothing like that. Okay, it's a global region. So if I just sign out, so I created access key. Okay, account. What is it? Demo test, right? Okay, I think I should have the account ID. Let me get the ID. So we should have this account ID, right?
Instead of sign out, you can use the incognito mode.
Yeah. See what it's asking. It's asking for old password, right? And it's asking for the new password for me to any user, right? So I have created a new user called demo test, and it's asking. So you saw, right? So how I created, and just I'm creating a new password. right? So confirm password change, right? Continue signing. See what it is showing. I don't have access to any of the things. So it's just authentication happened. That's it. So there is no authorization, nothing. See if I do EC2, if I go to EC2, I do not have access to anything. If you see, right? So this is how you will get an errors when you don't have access. Got it? And now I go here. Okay. This is the user demo test. Okay. Add permissions. So here attach policies directly. So as I told policies, what do you mean by policies? If I want to access particular services, I need to attach the policies, right? So here we can search what we have, what number of policies here, right? If you want to write particular policy, you can write it, right, by having a JSON, right? So see here. So you can create policies, you can add policies, right? And for example, I need EC2 policy, Amazon EC2 full access. If I click on this, and if I click on next, add permission, right? So it added the permissions of EC2 full access, right? If I go to the account, I'll just refresh it. See, instances. I can create the instance. I can launch the instance, right? So you saw, right? So how we can attach the policies, and what happens if there are no, what happens if there is no permissions, right? So this service health and all these are comes under, these are kind of, I mean, these are separate entities, service health and these EC2 free tier usage and all. So coming to EC2 services, you see complete EC2, the service we should be able to access. We can launch the instance, we can see the AMIs, what AMIs we have, right? So we can see the volumes, all these things we can do with the just one policy, that is EC2 full access. Amazon EC2 full access, right? In the same way, so we have multiple. If you want to create inline policy, what is an inline policy? So it's something, if you want to create a policy, right? So you can add it here. You can add the policy here. For example, action. So you can add action kind of EC2. EC2 describe instance or CloudWatch. CloudWatch get metric data, right? So this is how you give the action, and resources is something, uh, what action, like for example, you want read only action, or you want read only action, or write only action, or you want read write. If you give this, so it will give all read write, read permission, write permission, all these permissions you will get uh, on that particular resource, right? So if you want to customize, you can do the customization, or you want to attach the existing policies, you can attach the existing policies, right? So however you want, you can do it, right? So you can see here, right? So administrator access in the sense it's like same as usual. How the root access will be there, he will be having all the permissions according to the administration. So if he is working only on AIOps, so you can see the AIOps services, right? So that is how you can attach the policies and you can work on the particular user, right? And so if you want to create another user, you can create a user and you can add, for example, I'll create another user. Demo test two. Okay. So there are three users. Okay. So I want to create a group and I want to add these three people into a single group. So I'll go here, I'll create a group, right? So I want these two people should be into the one group. So group name is developers, right? So see, I can directly attach the policies to a particular group, right? I can add the particular users into that group and I can add particular access to that particular group and particular people, right? So if you can see, I can add EC2 full access to that particular group and create a user group. That's it. So developers will be having complete permissions, or the complete permissions on only on the EC2, not other than that, right? So they will not be having access to outside of the EC2 services. So this is what the IAM is. These are what the IAM creation of the user roles, policies, and the groups. Any doubts here? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. So who has joined today class? The newly who has joined today? Anyone joined today? For the demo or for the demo sessions or newly joined anyone? Arun, and I can see Pradeep Reddy. So you people had joined recently to this class or how it is? No? Okay, fine. So I think we can take the next service, that is EC2. I think we do not have much time. We have only 5 to 10 minutes. So if you have any doubts regarding this IAM, we can clear it off, or else we can wind it off for today. Tomorrow we can discuss on EC2 services, and if we can cover more, we can do. We can cover one more service also. If not, we tomorrow will cover the EC2. So which is an important service. Okay. So EC2 is a complete kind of elastic, I mean, your physical servers you have, right? The complete physical servers is something, they're divided into chunks. Those are called VMs, and that VMs are nothing but the EC2 services, EC2 service, right? So if you have any doubt on the IAM or IAM policies, you can just reach out to me. So you have 5 more minutes. If you have any doubts, just go on. No doubts. Okay. So if no doubts, we can wind it up. And I'll suggest everyone to just practice it. Okay. And see, in interview, mostly they will ask, I'll tell you the questions as well. Okay. So I'll discuss about, I mean, 2 to 3 minutes I'll discuss. In interview, what they will ask, the main question they will ask, what is the difference between roles and policies? From the IAM, what you can expect is, what is the difference between roles and policies? Okay. And what is an IAM, and how do you use in your organization, and what is the difference between roles and policies? That's it. This is the only question, expected question from your, I mean, when you are attending the interview. So this is the question what you can expect, right?
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am Krishna.
Hi, Krish.
Hi. As a I am user in AWS, likewise equivalent user in Azure. What is it?
So in Azure also, I think, I mean, we have Azure, I mean, Azure RBAC, we call it as
Okay, RBAC, role-based access control. Yeah,
role-based access
yeah,
control.
yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And we call it as an Azure RBAC, and we can call as an Azure AD,
AD. Yeah, yeah,
Azure AD.
yeah. Great.
And we have, I think the name doesn't change for them as well. I mean, I think IAM is the service for is in the Azure as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in order to, there are two more, that is RBAC and this Azure AD. Those both are so popular in Azure. Like, I mean, both most of the people use Azure AD rather than IAM there, because all are Windows servers, right? So Windows, they will use ADs.
Okay.
And yeah, I forgot to, yeah. So with the different names and different policies, that's what the RBAC, everything is kind of having the user control, having the control to the users, right? In order for them to not exceed to the services they want to delete, or if they want to do some read write operations, everything these are back. See, role based access control is something. So it is much more granular compared to this, granular in the sense they are much more uh, restricted. Role based access control is something based on your role, based on your kind of, based on your uh, user, you will be able to perform read write operations on the particular service. It's like a policy itself.
Okay.
Yes, those are like policies only.
Okay.
So Yeah. So we use RBAC in different terminology. Kind of, we use RBAC in the Kubernetes,
Yeah,
right? So in Kubernetes, we have these pods and we have the APIs, all these things, right? So if you want on those APIs and on the pods resources, so if you want read write operations, that's where we call it as an RBAC, role based access control. So
okay.
that's it.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
both are same. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, guys. So if you have any doubts, just let me know. So or else we can wind it up.
Hi, this is Pradeep.
Hi, brother.
Like the each services, if you want to access the each and every services, the roles are majorly important, I think so. So like
Yes.
uh,
So
yeah.
in see in when you're working independently, I mean, see, for example, you create a free account, and if you want to work freely, I mean, if in organization it doesn't work. Okay, so in organization everything is restricted because everything is very cost associated. In AWS looks like, I mean, AWS or cloud, they looks like very, I mean, they're cheap, but they're in the back end, they're very cost associated. If you just click on the services, kind of, there are some services, ECS, or there are some services. Okay, they're very cost associated. They will be, I mean, you take about the SageMaker or Bedrock. Based on the tokens, it will be cost. If you say that, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of this, they will fire you. Okay, in order to do that, like, you will be having very restricted, only what you work you will get it, right? So yeah.
One more thing is like for example, you just like has created the services, might be you not give the policies and rules for that one actually. So and then you try to accessing that services, might be get the errors. How we can able to handle that in that
Yes.
scenario, or like
So what you need to do is you need to raise an permission with your system I mean, your system administrator or service desk. You need to follow your service desk. You need to call your service desk, and you need to raise an access request, right? So you need to tell them that I do not have access to this. So that's how you need to follow the process, and you need to get the permissions for that uh, particular service. That's
in
it.
the same scenario. For example, I don't know, like so the service is getting failure. I want to see the logs, like okay, fine, like where I can able to see, like using the cloud, is there any way to watch, I mean, to see
Yes,
that
yes,
those
you
errors.
exactly. So you will be, if you are not able to, if you will not be able to, uh, if one of the service is failing, first of all, service is failing in the sense someone has to run that service, right? You
Okay.
cannot run that service, right? So
Okay.
without you running, how will it fail? How, I mean, how can you access it, first of all? So in order to access, in order to sorry, in order to access that, you should have permission. So for example, someone has run it, who has the permissions, and it got failed, and you need to troubleshoot that. So in order to troubleshoot that, so you will be having an access, you should raise an access to CloudWatch. Okay, in the CloudWatch you can see what it is failing and why it is failing, and is it because of authorization. If it is because of authorization issues, so then you can raise it. So you can watch it in CloudWatch. So CloudWatch is the main thing for monitoring the account, right?
Only CloudWatch, or any other way to watch the, I mean, see the like
So
errors
you,
actually.
depends on your organization what monitoring tool they use. So they might use Dynatrace, right? So they can send all the AWS console logs, event logs to the Dynatrace, and through Dynatrace you can monitor, right? And also there are Splunk, and there are ELK, application monitoring tools, right? So so Dynatrace is some, I mean, something popular to use with the cloud. And the main thing, if you want to watch the AWS CloudWatch is the best thing. Okay, CloudWatch is the one default where you will get the logs.
Okay, one more thing is like, for example, might be what kind of errors we can able to see the the role basis or anything actually. Like for
Sorry,
example, if
sorry.
we take what kind
Yeah.
of errors we can able to see, we can able to get the if you are not giving this right policies or right role for that one.
So
What are
I
the common errors I can say?
common errors are authorization errors. So only are the authorization error 403, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So only the authorization error you will be able to see, and that is the only error what you can see, authorization.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Yeah. So you will get error like this. Okay, you will not. This is the. Let's share my screen. One second. See, this is how you will get error. Is not authorized to perform. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah, this is the error. That's it. It's not allowed. Is not authorized to perform. That's it. You'll get it. Anywhere it's the same. Even in your in real time environment or anywhere, it's the same error.
So we can able to customize the rule, I mean policies, or like we can only can use the whatever policies there in Amazon or like
That is what you can do the customization. I showed you, right? So you can do the customization of the policies by so you can go here. So users, for example, this is the user. Okay. Create inline policy, right? So I showed you, right? So this is where if you click on JSON, so here you can do the customization according to your whatever service you want, right? So you can do the customization according to this, and you can click on next, and you can see. See, for example, if I do application discovery, so describe or list, describe agents, or if I give this, so you see here actions, discover, and you click on next. That's how you can add the policies. What policies you want, you can describe you. You can add it to you, right? So it's a just whatever you want, you can customize your policies accordingly.
even we can able to add these customizers to the user also, I think so.
Yeah, that is what we are adding to user itself, right? So yeah.
Okay, fine. Then the user is based on the services. A user will have the services. So I mean, we will customizing the only. I mean, like user based only, or like service based.
Yes, yes, yeah. Based on the service, so we are adding to the user, and that user will be accessing to that user will access the service. That's it.
Fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Done. Thank you guys. Like 7:05, and I should start to my office. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you guys. Bye.